Madam Ada, a wealthy, elegant businesswoman with expensive clothes, sharp eyes, and a cold heart. She owns a large fashion company in the city. She is feared because she insults, overworks, and humiliates her employees. She stood the grand building of Ada fashion empire. Her company produced beautiful African clothing, but behind its shining walls was a workplace filled with fear. Madam Ada believed that kindness made people weak. Every morning, she shouted at workers for the smallest mistakes. "If you're slow, I'll replace you," she would yell. Many employees cried silently, but they needed their jobs to feed their families. One rainy Monday, a young woman named Amara, a kind, hardworking young woman from a small village. She was humble and respectful. Amara arrived at Ada Fashion Empire for an interview. She came from a poor village where her widowed mother struggled to survive. Dressed in a simple Ankara gown, she greeted everyone with respect. Madam Ada looked at her from head to toe. "You don't even look like someone who belongs here," she sneered. Still, Amara politely replied, "Thank you for giving me this opportunity, ma." Her humility annoyed the boss lady even more. Luckily, she was employed. From that day, Madam Ada gave Amara the hardest tasks. She made her work overtime without appreciation, blamed her for other people's mistakes, and embarrassed her in front of customers. The other workers felt sorry for Amara. One evening, Mama Ngozi, the elderly cleaner, she has worked at the company for many years, she found Amara crying quietly. "My daughter," she said softly, "never allow another person's wickedness to change your good heart. God sees everything." Amara wiped her tears and smiled. "I will keep doing my best." Months passed. One day, Mr. Okafor, a wealthy investor looking for a trustworthy company to partner with. He values honesty over appearances. Mr. Okafor visited the company without announcing who he really was. He dressed simply so that everyone would treat him naturally. Madam Ada ignored him, thinking he was just an ordinary customer. "Can't you see I'm busy?" she snapped. As she walked away, Amara welcomed the visitor warmly. "Good afternoon, sir. Please have a seat. Can I offer you some water?" She patiently answered his questions and treated him with respect. Mr. Okafor quietly observed everything. The next morning, he returned in a luxury car with his assistants. Everyone was shocked when they learned he was the investor planning to invest millions in the company. He gathered the staff and spoke. "I have seen beautiful clothes here," he said, "but I have also seen something ugly, the way people are treated." He turned to Madam Ada. "A business without kindness cannot grow for long." Then he smiled at Amara. "Your honesty and respect represent the values I admire. I would rather invest in people like you." Mr. Okafor cancelled his partnership with Madam Ada and instead he helped Amara to start her own fashion business. Many skilled workers left the old company and joined Amara's new workshop, where everyone was treated with dignity. Within a few years, Amara's business became one of the most respected fashion brands in the region. Meanwhile, Madam Ada's company lost customers, employees, and investors. Sitting alone in her once luxurious office, she finally realized that wealth without kindness leads only to loneliness. From that day, she began to change, apologizing to former workers and learning that true leadership is built on compassion, not fear. After losing her biggest investor and many of her employees, Madam Ada sat alone in her once busy office. The phones that never stopped ringing had gone silent. Orders were cancelled, and bills began to pile up. For the first time in her life, she realized that fear could force people to work, but it could never earn their loyalty. One morning, she called the few employees who had remained. "I know I have wronged many of you," she said quietly. "I have been proud and cruel. I am asking for your forgiveness. The workers looked at one another in surprise. Some believed her, while others thought it was just another trick. Meanwhile, Amara's fashion company continued to grow. She made one promise to herself. No employee in this company will ever cry because of my words. She paid fair wages, rewarded hard work, and celebrated birthdays. Whenever a worker had family problems, she offered support instead of punishment. Her kindness created a happy workplace, and customers noticed the difference. Orders came from different states across Nigeria, and her beautiful African designs became popular even beyond the country. One day, Madam Adanna heard that Amara's company had become the talk of the city. Swallowing her pride, she decided to visit. When she arrived, she expected Amara to chase her away. Instead, Amara stood up, smiled, and greeted her respectfully. "Welcome, Madam Adanna. Please have a seat." Madam Adanna lowered her head in shame. "After everything I did to you, why are you treating me with kindness?" Amara replied gently. "My mother taught me that bitterness only creates more bitterness. Someone has to break the cycle." Tears filled Madam Adanna's eyes. "I came to apologize. I treated you and everyone else terribly. I was afraid people would take advantage of me, so I rode with fear." Amara accepted her apology. Everyone deserves a second chance when they sincerely change. From that day on, the two women worked together to train young entrepreneurs. They traveled to villages and towns, teaching people that success is not measured only by money but also by how you treat others. Madam Adanna often shared her own story. "I once believed that power came from making people afraid of me," she said. "But I learned that the strongest leaders are those who inspire others with kindness." The audience would applaud, knowing her words came from experience. Years later, Amara's company became one of the most respected fashion brands in Africa, while Madam Adanna earned back the respect she had lost, not because she was rich, but because she had truly changed. This story has made me learn that pride may build an empire, but only humility, kindness, and respect can make it last. Forgiveness has the power to transform even the hardest heart. Please like, share and subscribe for more interesting stories.